Welcome to the Behind the Bits podcast. Your host, Scott Curtis, wants to learn everything he can about stand-up comedy and take you along for the ride. Scott and his guests talk serious about comedy in every episode. Behind the Bits will uncover knowledge from different perspectives on subjects such as writing and performing stand-up comedy, as well as booking shows and the comedy life. If you're thinking about becoming a stand-up comic, already in the comic game, or a comedy nerd, Behind the Bits is the show for you. Now, let's get Behind the Bits.
All right, everybody, welcome to the first edition of the Behind the Bits Zoom-In. I'm drinking Crooked U Vital IPA tonight. If anybody wants to tag Crooked U in this, so maybe I can get a sponsor. And the purpose of this is really twofold. I want to, first of all, check in with comics around the country and see how they're doing. Talk about, actually threefold, talk about any resources they have found that will help other comics get through this. I know some of us are doing better than others financially and mentally. And then also give everybody a chance to plug things that they have coming up, either albums coming out, shows that they're doing, books, merch, anything you got going on, then you can go ahead and talk about that now. And I will just talk to each person for a couple minutes and then go on to the next one. And we'll see how this goes. And if it works, then maybe we'll just keep this going. So I am going to go by left to right, everybody I see. So I'm going to start out with Doc Kennedy. Doc, if you want to unmute yourself, let's talk.
I'm free.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Oh my God.
Hey, I'm actually talking to Doc right now, so if you wouldn't mind, Ernesto, if you wouldn't mind muting yourself. Actually, I just muted you. So we're gonna go one at a time. Just FYI, if you just came in, the Facebook Live feed's not working right, so I am recording this. I'm going to upload it to YouTube and then post it to the page. So talking to Doc right now. Doc is one of my former podcast guests and from Nashville, Tennessee. How are things going for you?
Oh, great, Scott. And I'd like to take a moment to announce that I'm drinking tap water.
All right.
So if anyone wants to tag tap water,
all right.
Hopefully I can get a sponsor too.
That's a big sponsor.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's known globally, I believe. Some parts more than others.
Yeah. So how are things going for you? It's been we're close to 40 days now, I think, that since anybody's been able to perform.
Yeah. I haven't jumped on the wagon of doing any of the online shows. I like to do crowd work, and I don't know. I just couldn't get myself to that point. For better or worse, and so I applaud those who are. And I have friends who are doing a lot of online shows, and that's awesome. But just working on every project that I can in the meantime. So I as well have a podcast called Free to Laugh, and so I've been working on that, and developing content for that. Working on jokes, starting to really get into that more. As I think it's easier as we see the light at the end of the tunnel starting to come. It's easier to get back into the writing mode.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before for me, it felt like I just wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
But now I'm there and ready to roll. And Nashville, of course, Tennessee is opening up May 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And Nashville is kind of, it's probably going to take a little bit to get going. But because we're known for live shows, it has to happen soon.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's the lifeblood of the city,
right.
is live entertainment. So we have no choice. The mayor had said a few weeks ago or last weekend or something like that. He said that it could be like a year and a half until live shows come back. Are you insane?
Wow.
No, that's not going to happen. So,
Yeah, that's
it's going to be sooner rather than later. And even if that's not so, there's so many small towns neighboring around here, and I do churches and corporate as well as comedy clubs. So, it's nice to have some options in the material. That's one of the benefits of working clean.
Right.
Being able to just, right now, we would take a dog park.
Yeah.
We'll take whatever venue we can. So
I noticed the Puckett's in Franklin opened up, so we got that going on.
Yeah.
When I am down there, I like Puckett's. So
yeah, well, and that's a live performance venue. So
yeah,
a friend of mine told me today. He said, I don't want to brag, but I ate in a restaurant. So we're getting somewhere. That's awesome.
I don't want to brag, but I went through a McDonald's drive-through today and got my wife a Diet Coke. So
Whoa. Hey, you were out of the house.
Yeah. Yep. For that short
living on the edge there, my friend.
Yeah, I know. So have you? I know you're in touch with a lot of the comics in your area and really around the country. Have you heard of any resources or anything that would help out a comic in this day and age when they're having a rough time?
Not really. It's kind of funny. It's like when everything first started to happen, everybody was developing online content right away. And now I'm not seeing quite as much. A lot of them have kind of gone into hiding, and so I wouldn't say any resources per se. The best resource I could recommend would be School of Laughs. That's put on by Rick Roberts, and he's got great content available online. Does an awesome podcast.
Right.
And so there's those types of resources out there. He does an online school as well. But I think just getting back into the writing habit is probably the best thing anyone could do right now.
Yeah.
Just to get ready to hit it when everything comes back around.
That's been hard. The writing part's hard.
It is.
And I think I told you that I make myself read current events and just write current events jokes every morning just so I can keep writing. And that's not even what my act's about. So,
Well, and that's tough right now because the only current event you're hearing about is the dang virus. So really it's the same joke every day.
Yeah.
And, and that's what's tough for me too, because I do a number of current event stuff. I do a lot of one-liners. So it's like, man, I haven't had anything to feed off of in a long time.
Right.
And, since nobody's going outside, there's nothing going on. And
right.
So,
right. No doubt.
So, I mean, I feel like a cop that's in a low crime city.
Yeah.
There's no fun.
Yeah. So I did want to highlight the Free to Laugh podcast. You did have an older gentleman on there a couple episodes ago that looked a little bit like me, and I appreciated that. Really good podcast.
Your podcast double did a great job.
Yeah. And I have to say, the bent you have on, talking about political correctness and stuff like that, I think it's a great subject matter. And yours is obviously a quicker listen than mine. Mine can go on pretty long, but yours is a great podcast, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome having you on, and just getting to connect through this. That when you talk about resources, I mean, just connecting with other comics, because no one else is going to relate to what we're going through. And,
yeah, no doubt.
Just get to know folks and be able to share like this. Our mutual friend Joel. Now I just slipped his last name, but
yeah,
Hot Breath.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Byers.
There
we go. Yeah.
Joel Byers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joel's doing awesome.
Yeah.
Have an awesome guest on all the time, and you're doing the same thing. I've been keeping mine at about one a week. So I really admire what you guys are doing because you're really taking advantage of the time and using it quite well. I've got some other projects I'm working on, but yeah, just keeping the podcast going, keeping that network going, growing the network. And, you know, I hesitate to even call it a network because you're building relationships,
right?
You know, and it's friendships, you know.
Mm.
And when I see you, Scott, you're not just some number on my board, you know, you're a friend of mine.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
That's what matters.
Yeah. I feel the same.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Doc. I am going to move on.
Thanks for having me on, Scott.
Yeah. Thanks for being on. I'm going to move on to Ernesto now. Ernesto, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Yeah. So we haven't met. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Ernesto Galano. My stage name is Big Earn. I've been doing comedy for 8 years now.
Uh-huh.
I'm one half of the Big and Tall comedy tour.
Cool.
I tour the country with Mike Bova. We tour the country raising money for our nation's vets.
Uh-huh.
You know, and we do VFWs and we do legions. We do, you know, any venue that can hold 100+ people, so we can get the local VFWs and American Legions involved, so we could raise money for them. We could give them upwards up to 20% of what we get at the door.
Uh-huh.
You know, and we do that. And during this whole quarantine, to be honest with you, the quarantine is a bit depressing because I like people. You know what I mean? The video comedy isn't for me. I like individuals. I'd rather be in the audience. I do crowd work.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, but I've taken the opportunity to write new jokes, you know, hopefully try some new stuff. Nothing pandemic related. I think that's a bit mundane. I'm really hoping the quarantine's over soon because of the fact that everyone thinks they're a fucking comedian on Facebook. It's fucking, especially with this TikTok shit. Holy crap. Oh, TikTok, you're killing me, people. Killing me. Right? You know what I mean? The TikTok, they're terrible. Everybody thinks they're funny. You know, they quote something they read on the internet like it's their own.
Yeah.
Just,
I know.
You know
I
what
actually
mean?
did a Facebook status maybe it was last week, that if I become a TikTok sensation, come check on me because I've either been kidnapped or did the bad acid. So,
jeez. I mean, some of them are great, but it just when you're mimicking someone else, you're not doing anything original. You just I don't know, man.
Yeah. So how are you keeping yourself busy while you're on hiatus now?
To be honest with you, man, I don't know if I really gained any weight or anything, but I eat, sleep, write, and watch TV, man. There ain't a whole bunch of nothing. I've been out my house since March 9th. I've been out of my home 3 times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, I'm good.
What part of the country are you in?
Oh, actually, I'm in New York. I'm in Binghamton, New York. I'm in a small village called Endicott. It's 7 miles west of Binghamton.
Okay.
You know, but I'm a New York boy. I'm from New York City and stuff. But I've been here, you know, for a long time, so I consider myself a Binghamton native now. You know, I'm not I'm a person. I don't rest my laurels on credits or where I'm from. You get people that go, "Oh, he's a New York City comic," and people get excited. I go, "No, slow down. He's a New York City comic via Arkansas. He's only been there 6 months. Slow down, people. Slow down." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, all this New York comic, you know, people get excited. Credits mean shit.
Yeah.
Just go up there, knock it out, be who you are. YouTube, I think it's a great thing. It allows you to get the followers. You know, regardless if people go, "Oh, that guy sucks. I can't believe those people follow him." Hey, at the end of the day, people have different tastes, different qualities.
Yeah.
You know, follow whoever you want to, man. You know, you know, it is what it is. You know, but I think YouTube is great because it allows you to have the audience that's fit for you. And people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Just be thankful that the format is there for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It allows you to gain sponsors. When you have a certain number of followers, you can actually earn a living. You know, if you can keep your content, you know, up to date and regular. You know, some people start to get paid all of a sudden. You know, they do a video once every month now, but they were doing 2 a week.
Yeah.
You know, they'll start getting lazy because you're getting paid now.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, you should be working harder.
Yep.
Now the
Yep.
money's coming in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't become complacent. Where are you at, Scott?
I'm actually in South Bend, Indiana. So northern part of Indiana by Notre Dame.
We were just recently in Fort Wayne.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I knew I heard big and tall somewhere.
Yeah, we were just recently in Fort Wayne. We've been touring all over the country. Sadly, up to date, we had to reschedule 32 shows.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts. You know what I mean? Especially we had a big one at the Watertown Zoo. We were doing a fundraiser with them, but they moved it to September, which is cool. You know what I mean? But that's a really big deal for us. Doing the fundraiser for the Watertown Zoo.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. It's TV clean.
Mm.
Which is something I've been working on a lot. You know what I mean? I'm not too derogatory, but I do let the language fly. I don't pull punches.
Yeah.
I'm a true believer that sensitivity belongs on the wall of vaginas. So if that's you, get to your wall before I get started. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool because me and Mike have a nice 1-2 punch. Mike being an Italian American and also being a white American, as you would see us. And so I usually, I'm the feature and he's the headliner.
Mm-hmm.
So I open up, I do 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depends. And I usually let the air out the room for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I let them know, what makes them comfortable. And I understand where I'm at with the audience. I begin by saying, hey, I want to let you know that throughout the set, you're going to hear me use the word nigga, but I want to let you know it's going to be with the soft A and not the hard R. I know many of you will be using later to describe me to your friends. See, once we get that chuckle, I won. We let the air out the room. They can relax. You know what I mean? Then, Mike comes in. Mike's got a lot of great jokes that touch a lot of different topics, and he does 30 minutes of musical parodies. He plays his own guitars. He plays the guitar, and he rewrote several songs, and they're very funny.
Yeah.
He did Eric Clapton's Cocaine is Duncane because he feels that there's cocaine in Duncan because it keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really awesome. He rewrote it all. What are you drinking? Night Train?
I'm drinking Crooked U Vital IPA.
Oh, it looks like a bottle of Night Train.
So somebody tag him. I need a sponsor.
There you go, tag him. Yeah. No, that's right, man. Good stuff.
So let me ask you, do you and Mike ever do anything on stage together?
What do you mean as far as playing off one
another? Like you become a duo? Do you do anything together?
No, but we've been working on it though.
Uh-huh.
Because we've been to several locations and they like us and they want us back. So we were thinking, one, we're doing a mashup. So I'm gonna do his jokes and he's gonna do mine.
Uh-huh.
Right? Some of ours. We're gonna do some of each other's material. And then two, we're working on a couple of old vaudeville acts that everyone knows, but we're gonna do our own version of it. And we're working on that.
Yeah.
So we can give the audience more variety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what people don't understand. People are just okay being I want to do everything. I want to do it all. You know what I mean? I filmed a sitcom that we're hoping to get picked up. It's called Off Point. I actually star in it. It's awesome. It's a comedy. I'm hoping we did 22-minute pilot. We're hoping to get picked up. Which is cool. I want to do improv. I think I'm pretty good at improv because the audience, when they attack me, I jump right into it with them, man. I don't skip a beat. I fire right back, man. Hecklers do not survive a moment with me. I eat them up like it was a plate of wings.
Yeah.
Don't come at me, man. I'm not the one, I like
the reason I asked is because Tom Dreesen, who's one of my heroes, him and Tim Reed were the first black and white comedy duo, and he says they're the last, that there's never been another one. So if you guys can get the duo thing going, then we'll have something there.
Oh, absolutely. You guys, follow us. We got the Big and Tall Comedy page on Facebook. I got my comedy page, Big Earn, Roundtable of Comedy. Follow me. You can follow my partner, Mike Bova's comedy. Mike Bova has songs on iTunes, those parodies. He has like 4 of them on iTunes, Spotify, whatever other media outlets for songs.
Yeah.
He has them on there. He's doing his thing, and I want to follow suit with that later. I got a parody for the song Black and Yellow. I wrote one called Fat and Mellow. We're working on it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Really good stuff. You know what I mean? Just to diversify. You know what I mean? Coming to this, I've been doing comedy 8 years. My set that I do now, I've been doing it for the last 2 or 3. I switch it up now that I know it front and back. I add to it. I take away from it, shorten it, lengthen it. Depends on the audience. Depends on where we go with it. Everyone. My comedy isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've been everywhere. Hey, listen, I tell people I'd rather get booed than hear silence. That's what I'm telling you. Silence is loud.
Yeah. Well, Ern, thanks so much for popping in. I think I'm going to want to have a longer conversation with you and do a full interview. So I'll shoot you a message, and we'll get that on the books. I appreciate you coming through, and I'll post some links up when I get this video processed. All right.
I appreciate you putting this together for us comedians, man. This is really great, man. I appreciate you, man. I look forward to that interview.
That's definitely going to happen. So I'm going to put you on mute now, but thanks for stopping by. Next, I've got Robert Lee, who I briefly met in a meeting. Robert, how's it going?
Good, thank you. Also, I hate to Doc. I know him from a couple years back. Yeah, good. So Scott, I've been actually pondering doing that voiceover, getting a demo reel together since you talked about it last week.
Yeah.
So, just to let everybody know, so I'm out in Los Angeles. I've been making my living warming up television shows for the last 30 years, moving out into more stand-up. Like Doc, I've done a lot of corporations and churches. My dry bar special just got released a week ago, so that's hopefully get some traction on that. And how I'm keeping myself occupied. I set a challenge for myself. It was 40 days ago in the middle of all this, and I started something called the Corona Diaries, and it's on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. But I said, well, if this wipes us out, a future generation should know who we were. And so I started explaining what our culture was to, how you always find those every science fiction movie always has that one person who finds this tape of the guy saying, don't come down here, we're all dead.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the genesis of it. And I've been doing a lot of impressions, a lot of fun things, but it's come up with a brand new routine every single day. So it's been a huge challenge. And again, it's a marathon, but I've been having a lot of fun doing that. So that keeps me busy many hours a day. So I write it in the afternoon, and then my wife and I, dinner, movie, whatever, at home. And then she'll go to bed around 9 or 10, and I'll stay up till 1 or 2 to finish it up. So it's this weird working pattern. But instead of going out to the clubs, I set up my camera and record myself, and then edit and close caption.
The cartoon character one was my favorite. That's a couple 3 days ago, but I started sharing those, and I shared that one with my daughter because I've got a grandson that's about 18 months, and some of those voices I think he'd recognize. So.
It was very fun. People from my high school were going, "This is my childhood right here. This is great." And so I'm glad you saw that. Yeah,
you even got Marvin the Martian. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, the dry bar specials out there, and that's on my list for my wife and I to watch this weekend. What else do you have going on that people can find you?
Well, as far as finding it, because I do a lot of TV warm-up work, that's kept me in Hollywood for a long time. So I haven't gone on the road. I didn't have to, which was great. But it's hurt me in my stand-up career. So that's where you get up and ad lib for 4 hours at a time to keep the audience entertained while they're doing costume changes. But now that that's down, we're all waiting to see, when our audience is going to come back. So that'll be interesting. So I've got gigs, a couple in June and a lot in July. So I'm just hoping everything ramps up by July, or I'm going to be in big trouble.
Yeah.
As far as, the suggestion of what do comedians do? Well, it's like, I became the accountant yesterday, and I signed up for a PPP SBA loan and went through all my 1099s today and scanned them. So you have to be proactive in every way you can. So then I'm filling out unemployment forms over here and doing a couple little Zoom things for a little bit of money. But for the most part, the way to find me would be definitely check out the Corona Diaries. There's 40 of them to look at so far. So and then after that, hopefully, the hope is that it'll turn into a one-man show and a book, because I'm going to take a deeper dive into the human condition. And if I'm talking about entertainment, do a real deep dive about when it started, humor, how humor was used in China and at the turn of the century and things like that. So I'm having a lot of fun doing some research, but I'll take a deeper dive when this is all over, and hopefully, again, make it into a one-man show and write a book out of it. So I've always got a plan.
Well, I got a couple books I'll send you links to that might be good for your research, because I've been doing some of that too. So yeah, I'll definitely send that to you. Well, Robert, I really appreciate you being on. Guys, check out the Corona Diaries. I check it out every morning. It's the first thing I listen to, just because it's funny and I don't get depressed in the morning if I listen to that. So it's really easy to find on Facebook. It's Corona Diaries with Robert Lee. Thanks for being on, Robert.
I appreciate it. It's my night to make Chicago pizza, so I'm going downstairs to make the sauce. The dough has been rising all day, and I'm going to go smash it in the pan and have a good dinner. So I'm going to sign off.
I'm jealous.
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Next, we are going to pop over to Chris Ray. Chris.
Hey, how are you doing, Scott?
I think we've seen each other around.
Yeah.
Since you're from the same area and we're at the same club all the time. How's things?
Oh, it's boring.
Yeah.
How are things with you?
Same.
Yeah. Yep, that's about it. The virus is hurting us.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
We're doing the open mic every Tuesday. We're starting to figure out how to do our jokes online. There's definitely a learning curve on that one.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. I think it gets better each week.
Well, the drop open mic, and if you guys want to find it, just type the Drop Comedy Club into your Facebook browser and like that page. I've been on quite a few of those virtual open mics, and that's pretty much the best attended and also the most people watching. So if you want to do one that you actually get seen, and they are also very gracious and allow you to plug your show, your podcast, your album, your book, whatever you got going on. So it's a really nice one to do, and they do that Tuesday nights, and they start at 7 Eastern, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, and it's been fun because we not only have some of our local regulars, but we have, there's this, I can't think of her last name off the top of my head, this Lucy from England that's been the last couple of weeks. She's becoming a regular. There's people from all over the country, Nebraska, Tennessee. We've had quite a few people join. Since it's virtual, people can join from anywhere. They don't have to be in the area.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's been a good place for me to actually say my current events jokes and work on my characters. So yeah, Eugene
right.
Smyrna is still all the stuff is on my desk. So maybe next week I'll do Eye Sockets of Doom. I don't know.
But yeah, those are hilarious. I've never seen you do characters until these.
Yeah. Well, I can't do my real act. I just.
It's hard. It really is. Yeah, it's tough. And not getting audience feedback, although the one thing they do that I think is good for the most part until people start screwing up, until people start misbehaving, is just keeping the mics open for all the other comics so you can at least hear them laughing.
Right.
Which I think works. It works fairly well. It's not quite the same, but gives you a little feedback. So that's helpful. But yeah, it's tough times.
Yeah.
My only outlet right now is once a week at the Drop open mic.
Yeah, no doubt. And you're in Goshen, Indiana, which is, it's a
Yeah,
small town, but it's very artsy, and it's a really nice town when you can get up and go places. And
yeah, it's not so great just sitting in your house.
yeah,
So, but I have a full-time day job though, and I'm able to do that from home. So at least I don't have the income issues that a lot of comics do. But
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a single dad, and that had to have a full-time job. So that's hurt the comedy career. But
Yeah.
I don't get to go anywhere outside of this little region right here.
And the kids are home, right?
2 of the 3. One's off at college.
Okay.
Other 2, they're all adults now, but I can't get them out of the house.
Yeah. Well, great. Is there anything else that you'd like to plug besides the drop thing?
Not really. I mean, you guys can. I think my name on here is Christian Rosenkreutz, but that's because my day job's with a religious organization, and I can't let my comedy world and that world collide. But my real name's Chris. Real name's Chris Ray, and the last name's spelled R-A-H-E, which is a little odd, Rahi. But yeah, I've got a website, chrisray.com. Of course, there's no dates on there now because there's no shows.
Yeah.
And you can look for me on Patreon. The opportunity is still there for someone to be my first ever Patreon donor.
Maybe I should do it since I was the only one that donated to your dog thing. So
That's right.
Last year.
No, I got a few actually. You were the first, but I got a few after that.
All right.
I appreciated that, Scott. Yeah. You're a good guy.
Yeah, whatever. I'm drinking, so I'm okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for being on, Chris. I am going to.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to get rid of you now and go on to Ricky Smoove. Ricky Smoove, you there?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I just got this Zoom thing within the last 2 days. I really have been messing with it all like that because I'm like the other comedians. The virtual thing, I like to be with the people. I like to see the pretty girls. I like to be there. This virtual thing. I guess if it lasts a little bit longer than necessary, then yes, I guess I'll have to break down and go go digital. But right now I'm just holding out.
Where are you from, Ricky?
Oh, I'm born and raised, and I'm from Pittsburgh. Go Steelers! And I live 10 miles in a sleepy town called Duquesne.
Okay.
They were real big in the 70s with the steel mills. But now you see nothing but abandoned houses, schools, and churches. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you see our apartment building. It's like the Shangri-La of houses and stuff, But, it's a nice spot, I can't complain.
Yeah. So how long you been doing comedy?
Oh, I've been doing comedy off and on since 2003.
Okay.
It's not going, how can I say this? Sometimes I have my ambition. The other times I'd be like, you know what? I got other things I need to work on. I do it in moments. But lately I started getting more aggressive in my comedy. I'm a part of a super comedy group, the Giggles and Grub Clubhouse 7. We do reality. We were doing a reality TV show, and then we have shows in this place called Keys Lounge, a very nice upscale place. Standing room only crowd. It's a nice sized place, but still standing room only crowd, and we do our thing.
Right. So, Ricky, where can people find you, like on the internet and stuff like that? Do you got anything you want to plug?
Well, you could always want to find out about me. You just go on my Facebook page, Ricky Smoove Morris. June 26th, I'm supposed to be at Whistle and Keg in Akron, and from there, I'm piecing together a mini tour. But with this virus drama, pump the brakes. Then I'm definitely doing Yins Fest 2020 which I'm real excited about because it's my first time doing it. And they done lost their minds giving me 35 minutes of stage time. Woo-wee. Somebody's gonna get fired. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. But it's a celebration of artists from the Pittsburgh area, and not just from Pittsburgh, but from all around. More as it starts August 15th, but after June there'll be more information be available. Again, you will find out on my page, my Facebook page, Ricky Smooth Morris on Facebook.
Okay, great.
And that's about it. I'm supposed to be doing something on May 5th with some people, but I'm not sure. It hasn't been confirmed yet, so we'll see. But this virus thing, boy, as much as I want to go back, hit the stage, I cannot consciously allow myself to put other people in jeopardy just to make $1.
Yeah,
I just
no
can't
doubt.
do that. But we got this can never happen again.
I agree with that. Well, Ricky, thanks so much for being on. If you have time, shoot me a link to that festival you're going to be a part of. That way I can put that up with the video.
Great. Thank you for having me. You all be safe and stay home.
Thanks. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Up next, I've got a former podcast guest. It's Krish Mohan. How you doing, Krish?
Hello. How are you? By the way, I'm drinking cold coffee.
All right.
So if somebody wants to tag does cold coffee have a Facebook? Do they want to sponsor me? Because
maybe iced coffee. I don't know.
This is old afternoon coffee. How are you doing, Scott?
I'm hanging in. The technical difficulties I've experienced so far tonight, I'm glad I'm drinking. So, yeah.
if I feel like that's a good thing with comedians is that we kind of know how to roll with the punches, right?
Yeah,
like
yep.
I feel like we're all kind of DIY masters in our
exactly.
own way. We're like adaptable creatures.
Yeah. That's funny. You're foreshadowing. You said DIY. I've got a guy that's a part of a DIY comedy group coming up pretty quick. So yeah, good job.
I'm a soothsayer, and I don't even know.
Way to plug your next dude. Yeah.
This is great, man. Thank you for doing this. This is awesome.
So obviously we talked in length when I did your interview, but that's been a few weeks ago. How are you doing since then?
I'm doing okay. I have to wear sunglasses when I'm sitting in front of my computer and making videos because I've overstressed my eyes apparently. And so I've got these on for that reason. I've concentrated on, making videos on a daily basis. So I just kind of pick like a topic or a couple news stories that I'm interested in talking about that aren't like regular mainstream news stories. So one of the things that I've been doing is talking about the labor movement, talking about like different kind of strikes and stuff that we've done. So that's been up. That's been kind of keeping me relatively occupied, and it's a little bit looser. So it kind of gives me the opportunity to write jokes on the fly or write jokes in my notes if I come up with them at the time. Right. But I'm not putting that much pressure on myself about that. It's more about just talking, like being as loose as I can about it. Cause it's like the first draft stuff. Other than that, I just started, I did the test show for my Zoom stand-up comedy show and like what I wanted to do with it and how to like record it and integrate like audience laughter without it being too distracting. And it worked out really well. So I've got the next one planned for May 8th. So I'm going to do them Fridays at 8 p.m. or most Fridays. I'm alternating Fridays right now. So May 8th is the first official one. And I'm just making it $5 and free for, people that become patrons or sustaining members and stuff like that. So, and yeah, like we've been talking about, you do have to kind of change your delivery structure a little bit. especially for me. Like I have like a writer's brain or whatever that is, but doing those videos every day and kind of having a little bit of a looser structure and format to it has definitely helped a whole lot with being a little bit freer with the delivery and just kind of like more relaxed about it. So
Right.
yeah, I was pretty surprised when, like, I didn't expect anything to come out of it. I was just like, all right, I'll get 10 people that want to help me figure this thing out.
Yeah.
We showed up and everything ran really, really smooth, or mostly smooth. And, you know, one or two little minor things we were able to figure out how to fix pretty quickly. So yeah, other than that, you know, it's, you take it day by day. There are some days that are definitely better than others with mental health and physical health stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, I've been trying to take walks, and I do miss driving. That's like a big thing that I don't really get to do. So at least once or twice a week, I'll just kind of sit in my car and go for a drive and um, drive around, listen to music, and then come back, and you know, it kind of gives me a little bit of a reset.
Yeah.
So
I've done a little of
yeah,
that too. Yeah. And
yeah.
you're Pittsburgh area as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I'm in the Pittsburgh area.
and your you know, your vlogs and your written blogs and stuff like that are very well done. And you know, the one of the things you got me thinking about that I'm looking at every day is the whole herd immunity thing. And you know, I'm watching Sweden really close, you know.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I've been trying to pay attention to that too. But it's one of those things, like, without a real plan, none of it matters.
Yeah.
Like, if you
Yeah.
don't have an actual plan, you
Yeah.
know, like social distancing and quarantining to flatten the curve and all that stuff is great, but without a plan, it all kind of goes to shit. So
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's kind of been, yeah, and you're right. Like, that's kind of been what I've also been researching, and there's a couple of people that, you know, that I pay attention to, that I listen to, that have essentially been saying that too, is like, yeah, herd immunity seems like the best way to move forward, but if we don't have like a plan, then none of it's really feasible. Like, I'm out, as of yesterday, I've lost everything up to June. Like, all of June has to be rescheduled.
Mhm.
So it's been pretty much 3 months of touring that I have to reschedule for probably later in the year.
Yeah.
And you know, most of, like, I usually have been taking July off because it's not particularly great for stand up, because people are outside and enjoying the vacation and stuff. But so these Zoom shows are essentially going to be the staple for the next 2 or 3 months, in terms of just me working on material and me kind of doing any sort of live performances. And then hopefully pick back up in June. I've got a couple festivals that I'm doing or I'm sorry, August. Yeah, I'm doing a couple festivals in August and September, and picking up, like, hopefully picking things up, you know, in live performances, at a venue, like an actual venue in
Yeah.
August.
With people.
Yeah, but it seems like, you know, even that, we're gonna have to settle for smaller audiences, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Like,
Mhm.
I'm 100% fine with, you know, if we have to do 15 people or 20 people or whatever it is. I guess it'll be determined state by state. But I'm completely fine with that, just to, like, get people back into the rhythm of feeling comfortable. And that's going to be a lot of it, you know,
Yeah.
is how comfortable do people feel coming back out and, you know, being around people, when I feel like this pandemic has really opened the doors for, like, people's OCDs and, you know, like their how clean everything needs to be kind of thing. And, you know, it's going to take a little while for us to get out of it, because we have this, like, collective PTSD from all this shit that's been going on. So
Yeah.
it might take a little bit, but, you know, I think being patient and keeping ourselves occupied is, um, in my opinion, the best thing that we can do. So,
Mhm.
yeah, That's
I have to say that this is really working on my brain, because I am like on the other side of OCD. I'm not OCD at all. I mean, if I drop a piece of food on the floor, it can sit there for 10 minutes and I'll still pick it up and eat it. And
yeah, me too.
if I find a Cheerio that's been there for days, I'll still eat it. And when I go out, when I have to go to the store, I freak out a little bit. I'm really claustrophobic, and for some reason, I got the mask on and stuff like that. I feel really claustrophobic, and I freak out a little bit, and I don't like that
Yeah.
about myself.
No, for me, it's I'm worried about other people. Like when I just go for a walk around the neighborhood, like if I see somebody coming towards me at the side, like I instantly, I'm on the side of the road,
Right.
hands behind my back, and staying very still to be like, I'm not a threat.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that I don't want people to think that I'm trying to do something like purposefully irresponsible or something, because it's just like I'm just trying to go for a walk. I'm just trying to stay healthy and be outside and move around a little bit, and so are they. And I don't like there's so much sort of information that can get twisted, like wearing the masks. And I think if that's something that we have to do in closed spaces, then yeah, let's do that in grocery stores. That seems like it's a reasonable idea. But when you're walking around, or if you're sitting in your car or something like that, maybe it's not that necessary. But people are so freaked out that when they see you, they're like, holy shit, another human, oh my god, this is crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's like we're all seeing Bigfoot for the first time, and they're like, holy, is that real? Are we allowed to can we take a photo of this thing? Like, but and that's not how we need to treat each other. But that's going to take a little bit of time, because like you said, we're all just kind of, it's done a number on our brains, and hopefully we'll get out of it. And we'll be able to get back to a better normal. That's my hope, is let's go for a better normal than the same old. And that's kind of why I'm trying to learn about like movements that have worked, strikes that have worked, or when they fail, why they failed. Because I think we can learn how to pick each other back up, or we'll just burn the system to the ground.
Yep.
But I'm prepared for both.
Yeah.
I'm prepared for both. We're gonna need people to cook the rich people, and entertain the people going out to kill the rich. So we'll have a purpose for comedians. In the future.
That's
the
great.
Dystopia.
So where can people find you when they're looking for you, Krish?
The easiest place is on my website, which is ramennoodlescomedy.com. It's RAMAN noodlescomedy.com.
Very good. And the recent blog article that you posted about the gentleman of heritage from India and his reaction to your show, I think it's first of all, it's really well written, and second off, I think it really shows PC culture from a different perspective. It shows that PC culture isn't necessarily black-white. Sometimes it's brown-brown, sometimes brown-white, and really, I thought it was well written, and it made me think of a lot of things. So it really opened my mind to a lot of things. So it was really good.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was kind of a weird experience that I'm glad you got something out of it. And yeah, I get I think he was just looking to be offended.
Yeah.
I'm not really particularly sure if he really knows what his sense of humor is, or whether he wants to have one or not, but it was very peculiar. Just like the response that he had. And I think like over the last 5 years, I think we might have talked about this when we recorded the podcast, is like, I've gotten attacked by the left more than I have from the right. Like I've had more conservatives come to my shows and enjoy themselves, with me being this sort of lefty socialist comic that, you know, this hippie socialist comic that talks about peace and love and, you know, getting along and shit. And there have been more people on the right that have appreciated that, and more people from the left that have gotten mad about similarly to that gentleman for just bringing up the idea of what India is like, the perspective of you know, someone that's been away from that country for a little long and seeing it with different eyes. Yeah, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That was great. Well, thanks so much for being on.
Thank you.
And you know, I wish you luck on your Zoom show. And I believe you have an album just about ready to come out, right?
June 1st is the release date. Yeah.
Okay.
So I should have there's it's a bunch of stupid shit you have to do to get it, like a pre-release thing. So I'm waiting on that. But Bandcamp is the easiest way to download all of my stuff. It's all pay what you want right now because everybody's kind of going through a tough time. And if you want to get it for free, grab it for free. I'd rather you enjoy it than you know, not be able to be able to pay for it and enjoy it. So yeah.
And if you do buy on Bandcamp, buy it on a Friday because they are waiving their fees through, I think, at least the second week of March.
May, second week of May.
Yeah, sorry, in my M months, but second week of May. I just read that, and there's a lot of musicians I follow, and I'm waiting till Friday to buy some stuff.
Yeah. So May 1st, go to Bandcamp and support your artists.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being
Thank
on.
you.
I know you got another podcast to do, so thanks for being on, Krish. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks. Next, I've got my good friend Brian Collins.
What is up, Scott?
Hey, Brian.
Oh man, I'm excited to be doing something tonight. So
I'm excited that we both cut our own hair. So that
I did, and you can't pull from this angle, but I'll see. Can you see? I tried to leave all that nice longness in the back. Why not go as bad as possible? I saw you with your brave guy mustache, and I figured I'd go for it.
Yeah.
No, but it feels pretty weird being here in Indiana. Saturday? I think I'm going to the mall.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Simon's opened up their stuff. Yeah.
So I'm pretty pumped about that. I feel kind of guilty. I haven't been working, but I've had money coming in, so that's been nice. But aside from that, my life has changed almost not at all.
Yeah.
The things I like to do involve being in large open air spaces and public parks. You know, a lot of people say you shouldn't get high around children like that, but in my defense, they're usually at school this time of year.
Yeah.
But no, it's been weird. You know, I play a lot of disc golf. I've been getting out every day. They have had some issues, believe it or not. There were people trouncing through the parks in groups like 15 and 20 people because they're all so eyed. So that's a little rough. And they said they're going to shut us down, but we've managed to skirt any of that so far. Well, and I don't know. You said earlier you've been trying to write current event stuff.
Yeah.
I might need.
Not good, but I'm writing it.
Well, I think even not good. I had to stop writing. Everything I wrote was really mean.
Yeah.
I found it to be very funny. But
yeah.
Every time I said it out loud to somebody, they thought that I was mad at them or that I hated an entire race of people. And I realized I was like, I should probably settle down. Because, you know, that wasn't where it started at, but just, boy, I have as you can tell by the haircut, I have not handled things the best.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird just not being able to do something once or twice a week. You know, going to the comedy club has really messed me up, you know, between the open mics on Tuesdays, and I've been lucky enough, you know, I'm not like a traveling comic, but I usually book a show almost every weekend. So like going from that to not doing anything is really, I think we can all agree it kind of sucks.
Yeah. And I concur so much because I finally got pretty serious about getting as good as I could, like right before it happened. I did that thing in Grand Rapids, and right after that, we got shut down.
No, I know, and it's funny, like, because I think I think for us, the guys that all know each other, you know, I think a lot of people took jumps over the past like 3 to 6 months, and that just immediately got shut down out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how much I've regressed, but doing the Tuesday open mics online, I've been hosting some of those for the drop, and it's been fun, but I think I'm garbage. I don't think I should.
Well, you know, sometimes you just got to say the words. You've got an act and you got to say the words so you remember them. And, you know, I think that's what that's for, or to do the weird shit that I do, you know? So, you know, I don't feel like I can do my act. So I'm either going to do current events or do a character. So, you know.
Well, I will say Eugene was one of the best characters that has shown up on any of the open mics. I enjoyed Eugene quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that's what's a little different about like the time period that we live in. Like, I don't know how many weeks did we have to wait for like all of the movies to be produced for the 9/11 truthers. They are on the truth right now, on the cutting edge of the truth immediately by day. It's kind of neat to live in that environment.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I don't want to come on here as the we should all be out touching each other guy, but like, you know, I've said this is going to be what it is, and it's not. I don't think we need to go into a full panic, and I think I did well with that. But the just day after day boredom. You know, if I had my druthers, I'd be in every store all across the land. But I know that's wrong, so I've shut it down. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm freaking out a little bit myself. Can you talk a little bit about DIY comedy?
Well, you know I can. So DIY comedy is myself, Joe Tidd, Max Tidy, and Devin Tapia. And the four of us have been bringing in some other comics. Generally, we put on a big show or two a year and promote some smaller shows and bring comics. Max is really good at drawing some people from Chicago for stuff we do. And now we don't have that outlet. So every Friday, we've been trying to do something. We did a DIY wine and canvas where we all got a little drunk and painted. And then we found out we weren't allowed to hang out anymore. So then we tried it again from our own houses. And that's good humor if just to see me draw stick figures while other people create masterpieces.
Yeah.
Like, we've done things like charades. We did Power Rangers watch where we mocked it for like an hour and a half, a couple episodes of that. That was fun. Most recently, or not most recently, but we did a Dungeons and Dragons. Right, Dungeon mastered that, which was a blast for me. I've been doing that for a lot of time too. I'm currently running. I put up 4. I'm currently running 3 different Dungeons and Dragons campaigns.
All right.
Yeah. So, and I've way overcommitted. I go back to work Monday, as far as I know, as of this moment, and all of these people do not, and they are going to expect games.
Yeah.
So I guess, fortunately, Tuesday night comedy is not going to be real prevalent for a while because I've got other work to do. Yeah,
no doubt. No doubt. Where can people find DIY comedy?
So on Facebook and Instagram, we are DIY comedy. In fact, we're that on YouTube as well. We post all of our stuff cross-platform, whatever. I'm the old guy in the group. Our pictures show up on many platforms, all under DIY comedy. And the things we do on Friday are always Facebook Live first, and then we filter them into YouTube later or whatever. So yeah, that's us, and we're always having a good time. You should check us out. Throw us a like-see. We're always big fans of that. We're always putting something out at least once a week.
Great. Well, it's nice seeing you again. I miss you.
You too, Scott. We should trivia when we can.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Brian. I appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
All right. I appreciate everybody hanging on. Next, we've got up a gentleman I haven't met yet, Matt Gwynn. Matt, how you doing?
I'm wonderful, man. How are you?
Great. Where are you from?
Central Ohio, Columbus area.
Okay, great. So tell me about yourself.
Well, I am, pale if you haven't noticed.
Still going. Coming up. More coffee.
I'm an albino. I've
How are
actually
you?
got a podcast called The Adventures of the Albino Rhino.
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
So it's a pretty good time.
What's that?
Kind of just have conversations with people, just anybody
Mm-hmm.
really who's willing to sit down for 30 minutes to an hour and have a talk. Last week I posted a conversation I had with a guy from France who like lives in a van with 3 birds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
That was a fun conversation. Like it was we did that interview at the height of, you know, France's freak out when it was the worst. And I'm like, dude, you're like in a van. He's like, yeah, I'm living in a cemetery right now. I'm like, I'm stealing the Wi-Fi from the church.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, man, you know, it's just, for me, the whole coronavirus thing has just been interesting with the amount of people I've been able to interact with and kind of see how everybody else has been dealing with it.
So I have to say, I wouldn't pick you out as albino because you're not quite Johnny Winter albino.
Yeah. See, I interact with the outside world, which we're not supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
I don't stay inside. I actually was a door-to-door salesman for a decade.
Okay.
You know, I figured out real young as a drug addict, I'm going to die of something someday. I'm at least going to enjoy it. I gave up the drugs, switched to skin cancer. So,
okay. There you go.
At least I'll be able to be sober and enjoy my family while I do it.
Yeah. So do you do any stand-up at all?
Yeah, man. At least I was before this. I've been doing a lot of these Zoom shows and stuff, which it's been, you know, hit and miss depending on how fun they are and all that kind of thing. But it's, you know, it's been an interesting ride. I've never really booked anything big. I'm relatively new to the comedy game. I was a salesman actually for 18 years, and representing a brand like that, I didn't want to risk my job over my jokes.
Yeah.
And 2 months before the pandemic hit, I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm done, man. I'm just going to go tell jokes. And then the pandemic hit. So
like
fortunately, I have another job that has paid me throughout all of this. But I mean, I make plastic car parts at night, so that way on the nights that I'm off, I can go tell jokes and not have to worry about it. So it's cool.
Cool.
I've been able to write a lot. I've been writing a lot for a long time, and just I'm finally able to work it out now. Which is kind of how I've been using the time other than working on my podcast. There's a lot of comics that I've met locally, and we've just been spending a couple hours a day writing with each other over Discord or Zoom or whatever. So
is it easier when you get people together to commit to doing some writing?
Well, we've just been doing different kinds of things to keep it fresh. You know, I've got a life of experience as a drug addict and a door-to-door salesman. I got plenty of stuff to write jokes about. One of the coolest things I do with these guys 3 times a week is we do a word every day. And you basically have to write a bunch of jokes with that word or about that word or something like that. You know what I mean? And I've got like a 5-minute that I wrote about the city of Buffalo and buffalo wings out of it. You know? So it's just been different stuff. I don't know if it's necessarily easier because I've been a salesman for so long. I'm used to writing things. Jokes are a lot like a sales pitch. Just instead of a comedian saying you need to buy this, a comedian saying, you know, you need to laugh at this because it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, the same principles apply. So
I've been in sales for the most of the last 20 years, so I know what you're saying. So yeah.
I sold magazines for 10 years, man, door to door, all over the country. It was wild as shit. I've got so many crazy experiences and stories, and holy cow. But it was fun, you know.
Yeah, I bet. The thing about doing sales is that it makes the going up on stage a little bit easier because you've already been rebuffed so many times, and people have told you get off their porch, get off their stage, and stuff like that. So you know, you got a thicker skin, so it's easier for you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've definitely noticed that. I mean, you know, my mom has told me no since I was a little kid, so I'm used to hearing that, and I've heard that my whole life. So you know, that never bothered me. And I figured if I did, the first time I ever went on stage, I figured if I just did the most embarrassing thing I possibly could, I'd be good from that point on. You can't go farther from that. So at one point during my drug addiction, I actually got sober for about 6 months and somehow ended up working with a BDSM show at a Gothic industrial bar. I wasn't even on drugs at this point in my life. And this guy ended up breaking like a huge oak paddle that he had just built and was all proud of over my 145-pound ass. And, just telling that story to people, the times I've gone up, since then, before the quarantine happened, I wasn't really worried about it. I had fun. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
Great. So, just so we remember, what's the name of the podcast again?
The podcast is Adventures of the Albino Rhino. It's everywhere. We release every Friday.
Okay.
I do it on a weird day because I'm a weird guy.
I do mine on Friday too. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. They say Fridays are supposed to be a bad day, but I don't know. That's the day I want to do it. It gives me the whole week to make sure everything's ready.
I used to do a local podcast and I put them out on Tuesdays and I don't see any different. Actually, I think I'm doing better on Fridays than I was doing on Tuesdays. I usually get a pretty good hit when an episode comes out for the subscribers. And then Saturday and Sunday, not so much, but Monday people poke in and do quite a bit too. So I feel good about the Friday thing.
I like it. It gives me the whole week to get ready.
Yeah.
If I feel like releasing a special episode, I can pop one out on a Wednesday.
Yep. Same.
It gives you so many more options to be able to release content.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the unfortunate things I've noticed just in the local scenes is like a lot of the guys who have the opportunity to be working right now aren't. Like just on their jokes and that kind of stuff, which I think is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Matt, thanks so much for being on. Is there anything else you want to plug besides the podcast?
I mean, the easiest way to find the stuff that I release and the stuff I'm involved in is my comedian Facebook page. It's either Matt Gwynn or at Albin or Reno 83. So it's basically albino rhino with a period in there and 83 at the end.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to find me, man. The easiest way. So,
well,
thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
It was great to connect with you, and maybe I'll look you up to do the podcast then.
Yeah, man, hit me up. I'm down for talking to you for an hour. We have a pretty good time. I can't say I always stay sober, but that's some of the fun. I'm actually going to be. So I hate to plug something I'm on. I can't remember the name of the guy's show. God, I'm an asshole. But I'm on this dude's show tomorrow night, and the whole premise behind their thing is you get drunk and talk about sports.
Oh, okay.
So, man, I'm excited for that because I'm a little bit of sports now. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it was great to connect. Thanks a lot, Matt. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. You have a great day.
You too. Billy D has hung on for the whole time.
What up? How's it going?
Billy Dodaro, how's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
Good. I've seen you exactly once at the drop. So
yes, you have.
I don't know you real well, but I've seen you at least once. How's it going?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Now you're a little bit west of me. Where are you from?
In the National Forest, as you can see behind me. Yeah. So right there, Indiana Dunes area.
Yeah, yeah.
So right by West Beach, if you know where that is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just hanging out. I got my tinfoil hat.
I see that.
So, protecting myself from the 5G. So we're doing good. This is awesome. I'm glad you did this.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you hung out for all the technical difficulties and stuff. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself, Billy. I've seen you with the fur coat, and that's about all I know about you.
Yes. Well, I semi-retired.
Mm-hmm.
Right before all this started, actually, I was getting some momentum doing stand-up, like you were talking about. And then a month later, it stopped.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I worked for BP in environmental.
Okay.
For 12 years-ish, and doing nothing now. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Writing, trying to write.
Yeah.
Walking from the bedroom to the refrigerator a couple dozen times a day.
So. Well, it's funny because what I remember of your act is you come off as, I guess, a little bit of a tough guy, a pimpish type guy, and then I see you on Facebook with your family, and it looks like you're just melting with your wife and your kids. So
absolutely. You know what? I have a look, a very unapproachable look, and I've gotten it my whole life.
I understand. I got the same thing. Yeah.
Exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
So it works against me a lot, but what are you going to do?
Right.
It's what I was given. So
now, have you been able to put together any bits during this time? Anything that you can take to the stage after you're done?
You know, I've added to a lot that I have going.
Mm-hmm.
So I got probably 15, 20 strong minutes that was working real well for me. You know, I was booked 3-4 nights a week, you know, consistently for a few months before this all went down. Nothing. But I've added on to that. So, but nothing really new.
Yeah.
You know, no new ideas, no new concepts, just expanding on ideas I've had in the past.
Yeah. You know, I feel the same, and a lot of people I've talked to are the same way. It's hard because you don't, I guess we're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel, but when you don't know what's going to happen to you or the country or the world or whatever, it's really hard to write stuff because you don't really have a point of reference. You don't have what it takes to put together a real bit. So I've been doing the same thing. I've been going over old stuff and seeing, you know, if I can either make it better or if it just needs to go bye-bye, you know.
And it's hard because you can't work it out on stage. I mean, I have some new ideas, but I can't expand on them. And I'm almost unmotivated. I don't have the motivation to do it. Because I don't know when I'm going to be able to work it out and, you know, exercise it and see where I could take it.
Yeah.
So it's been rough.
Yeah, it's I don't think people know how hard it is, especially on comics, because, you know, if you're a musician and you play guitar or something like that, well, you can still pick up the guitar and play it, and you can hear what's coming out, and you can discern yourself if it's good or not. When you're a comic, you don't know if it's good or not until somebody laughs. And
and you really need an audience for that.
Yeah.
I mean, even with these Zoom mics, I've noticed that it's not the same thing.
Yeah. It's actually, it's hard. You know, I've done some, and like I said before, I've just been, you know, trying to do current events or do a character or whatever, just to fill the time and keep the name out there, you know.
Right.
You know, I'm always plugging my podcast and stuff, so, you know, I need something to fill in the time before plugging it, and so I just do that kind of stuff.
Do you do your characters on your podcast?
No, the podcast it's straight up talking to comics about their craft and how they write and what comedy's like for them. So it's a pretty serious podcast.
I listened to the one with Krish earlier.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. He's very likable. It's a good show.
Yeah.
So.
I try to keep it something that comics will like and people who like the craft of comedy will like. So that's what I'm working on.
It was good. Very good. So
yeah. So do you have anything going on as far as you know, anything going on Facebook, any websites or anything like that you want to plug?
Not really. You know, any shows have been canceled. Nothing's been rescheduled yet.
Yeah.
I'm in the infancy stages. I'm looking into renting out a space in Chicago, kind of a creative space where I'll have a few podcast recording studios, a music recording studio. And I want it to be big enough for events, live shows, music, comedy, if possible. So I've been going out, you know, with a realtor looking at a few places in the city, but I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger on that until, you know, everything opens back up. So I think we got a ways to go for that.
Yeah, you should get some good prices when everything.
Yeah, I mean, even now, I mean, I found a 10,000 square foot place in a nice part of Chicago for under $6,000 a month.
Yeah,
which 10,000 square feet's massive.
Yeah,
I mean, you can do whatever you want in there.
Yeah,
have a roller hockey ring in there, a basketball court.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, from what I saw, I only saw 5 minutes of you one night, and I thought you were funny, and I didn't get a chance to say hi because I think I always leave early on Tuesdays, because I always have early Wednesday meetings and stuff like that. But I didn't get to say hi or anything. But I'm glad you popped on to talk, because you're one of those guys that, yeah, I'd like to talk to him sometime, and I'm glad you.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while. The first time I went, there were a handful of people who stood out to me, and you were definitely one of them. So,
great. Yeah.
But I've been there a few times for good reasons, of course. But yeah, I haven't been there in a while. I think I've only been doing this about a little over a year. So it was infancy stages, the times I've been at the drop, and I think I've evolved. You know, I think I don't know. I figured things out, since I still have a ways to go, obviously, but I'm getting the hang of it now. So.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I appreciate you popping on and talking, and also you were one of the first ones in, and I think the last one out. So
I like it.
I appreciate you sticking around, and
thanks for having me.
I hope you protect yourself from the 5G. Keep that tinfoil hat on, and
yes, sir.
But yeah, this was great. Everybody, thanks a lot, Billy. Everybody that showed up tonight, I appreciate that. And what I'm going to do, instead of, since we couldn't get to Facebook Live to work, I'm recording this. I'm going to pop it up on YouTube, and I'll just tag everybody when it comes up. Brian was crushing my head, I think. But thanks a lot for showing up, and everybody, I will be in touch when this gets done. And if you guys want to shoot me any links or anything in between that time, then I will put those up with the show notes when I put that up. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.